the Hard Rocket Sports Studios and another edition of the weekly video recap. The March 31st show kicked off with another unusual topic, golf. More specifically, Tiger Woods. I asked the question, has there ever been an athlete of his caliber? And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from High Top Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together. We bring you all the biggest news around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to Thursday night, July the 17th, in the year of our good Lord, 2025. And it's been a couple of weeks, actually 3. We haven't been here since the end of June. So welcome back, and thank you all for tuning in. If you're out there listening, I hope you guys are having a good summer. We're right in the middle of summer. I hope your 4th of July was well. Mine was okay. I had a good time in Florida. It's good to be home, and lots of stuff is going on. Right now, we're just cranking up onto that sweet spot where the football season's about to start. We got baseball starting to really kick in right after the All-Star game. There's so much news out there right now. There's even a little bit of music news. So many things to work with and talk about that I'm looking forward to getting this one back on. Every week after a while, sometimes you kind of get that, another show. I don't know if I want to do it again. I'm tired. You take a couple of weeks off and you realize how much you love doing this. And, again, we're a week away from starting our 15th year on the air, 14 full seasons of the Hard Rocket Sports Show. And, boy, it's been a blast. And, next week will be our 15th edition of the Hard Rocket Sports NFL training camp show. And, boy, oh boy, I have to tell you, I look back and I realize 14 years have gone by, and where this show started, where it's at, and what we've accomplished along the way has really been truly remarkable. And I have some big announcements coming, but not right now, not yet at least. And we got another football season and another year of Jets and Giants, and what we're going to get, who knows? Both teams, I think, have gotten better. I think both teams have worked their way towards stability. Now the Jets, another coaching change, another new coaching staff. What will Aaron Glenn bring to this thing? Now they're signing players. They're re-signing their own players. They've had a couple of decent drafts. The Giants have had some good drafts. They've got some stability with another year of Dable and Shane. And I really, truly believe that this is the right mix for the Giants. I do believe that this is the recipe for success. The question is, can they put the right players in place? Well, I will tell you, we'll get much more into detail next week with the Giants and the Jets, but I love the aura around this team. I love the fact that this team, it's loose. I love the mix of veterans and young players. I mean, the defense is full of really good players with, obviously Dexter Lawrence is probably the best defensive tackle in football. You gotta love, Abdul Carter coming in. You love Okereke, you love McFadden and Brian Burns. Kayvon Thibodeau. This has to be the year that he takes that big leap. At this point, he's got to start to show up. Drew Phillips in the secondary. They've got the kid Holland from the Dolphins. They picked up the corner. His name escapes me, from the Saints. This Giant defense, theoretically, and again I always say theoretically, should be very good. Their defensive line, their front seven should be amongst the best in football. Now, can Shane Bowen take that and get better? I mean, the Giants could not stop anybody last year in running the football. I can't tell you how many times the Giants had teams in, 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 12s, and the team would run a draw or a sprint draw, and the next thing you know, they're gaining 15 yards. This defense has to stiffen and play tough. So I'm looking forward to it. We're a week away from training camp. I'm looking forward to both teams. I do think the Jets have better talent. Now, the question for the Jets is going to be, well, that offense wasn't good last year. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Did they get better on offense? Did they put more weapons out there? What will they do with Justin Fields? Will they run the ball? Will they try to throw the ball more? I don't know. Defensively, the talent is there. The question wasn't talent last year. The question was desire, passion, willing to stick your face. Sauce Gardner was terrible. I'm going to tell you, people will argue with me. Sauce Gardner was not good. He did not stick his head in there on tackles. He did not play well, right? But he got a big contract. So now it's put up time. But a lot of times when these guys get that contract, when guys get these contracts, they tend to slack off. They play hard to get the contract. Sauce didn't. So he got the contract now. Now let's see what he does with it. I am very curious to see if Aaron Glenn brings that same philosophy from Detroit, where they had two great running backs, right? With, I would say, two really good running backs in David Montgomery and who's the other kid? Oh, man, I drafted him last year. Anyway, they have two great running backs, or really good running backs, good receivers, and a solid quarterback. I wonder if they're going to bring that kind of philosophy where they're going to run the football, come at you from different directions, throw when they have to some big receivers. And the Jets have that big receiver in Garrett Wilson. I don't think they have the second guy. I don't think the Jets have that next guy, but we'll see. But they have two really good running backs, and Breece Hall could be a great one. So let's see what they do with Fields and that offense. And we're gonna dive real deep into Jets and Giants next week, as well as the NFL and all the big coaching changes, players that moved around the league. There's guys all over the place. That happens every year. And who to watch, what divisions, what will the Eagles build off of last year? Will they continue the trend of Super Bowl winning teams that normally will drop off and drop back? Do the Bills finally get there? I don't know what to make of the Dolphins at this point in time. Lots of questions in the NFL. Looking forward to the NFL Training Camp Show right here next Thursday night on the Hard Rock and Sports Show, 7 p.m. on your YouTube and Facebook channels. So make sure you tune in for us. Hope you guys are waiting on Jeff to pop up. He is unfortunately having some computer issues, so we'll hold off on major parts of the show till Jeff gets here. In the meantime, I am doing my thing. And what else we got going on? There doesn't seem to be too many people following us so far tonight. We are live for about 9 minutes so far. And again, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Looking forward to a solid show if Jeff ever gets on. We got a lot to talk about tonight. A member of the Spinal Tap family has passed away. Coming up on their 41st anniversary of the release of the great Spinal Tap movie, and we're waiting for the September 12th release of Spinal Tap 2, the sequel. One member of the band will not be joining them. We'll get to talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the All-Star Derby. The All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. We'll talk about the All-Star Game itself and some of the improvements that I feel that they've made. Let's see. We'll talk about the Sabbath live show, the live stream of the last Sabbath concert. Very down on the live stream of it, I have to be honest with you. But again, we'll talk about the entire concert. Let's see. Let's see. Scott, we'll do a little Scott Ian Yankee story. We talked about the Jets. A bunch of 2025 NFL second round draft picks are not in camp. I'll tell you why. Let's see. That's it. That's what tonight's show is going to be about. We'll talk to Jeff. We'll wish him a happy birthday. It was his birthday last Thursday night. And all that good stuff. So let's see when Jeff pops up. My dad hasn't popped up yet. I got a feeling he forgot. So we'll cut him some slack. He called me last week to find out why we didn't go on, which I told him we were taking a couple of weeks off. And then this week we're back and he's nowhere to be found. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, real quick, a little politics. Congratulations to the Trump administration on the big, beautiful bill, getting that out the door. I think that was a major achievement. So good for them. Lots of big wins for the Trump administration the last few weeks. This whole Epstein thing, I wish would just go away. Who cares? If there's anybody to prosecute them. If there's not, move on. If you're not going to prosecute anybody for, what they did to these young girls, then let's just move on. Give them some peace and quiet in their lives and move forward. If there's anybody in there that you can prosecute, go prosecute them. Otherwise, please, it's an annoyance now. It really is an annoyance. Also, New York City. I got to plead to all my dear friends in New York City. When de Blasio ran the first time, people probably got fooled. Okay. So, it was a complacency thing. You're coming off of 8 years of Giuliani, 12 years of Bloomberg. The city was really good shape. And the Republicans didn't run anybody. And Democrats were like, well, what could he possibly do? Just because he eats pizza with a knife and fork, who cares? And that guy in 8 years destroyed the city. Just completely. He was the most inept politician I've ever seen. Maybe till Joe Biden, but close. It's very close. Anyway, let's see what Frankie has to say. Hold on. For sure, need to. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, so it comes up. You got Eric Adams, who his administration has been one big giant. Let's see, done nothing. There's been nothing but different scandals. I mean, every which way you turn, people have tried to benefit or just rob people blind. There's been more people who've bailed out, who've quit, retired, moved on, been indicted, whatever. It's up there, Adam Hines. But at the end of the day, we have this New York City mayor's race. Now, for me, I live in New Jersey, but I work in New York. And I still love the city of New York. I grew up in the city of New York. I root for the New York teams. And even though I want to move to Florida someday to get away from this leftist woke bullshit, I will always hold a place in New York. I mean, growing up in the city of New York, Staten Island, New York, growing up was the best. I had all the best of all the worlds as a kid growing up. And we won't get into all that bullshit. But to look at now what the field out there is to be the next mayor of New York, the greatest city in the world, the most powerful, wealthy city in the world. Okay, that's no bullshit. We got Eric Adams, who's done nothing but tried to stick his hands in the coffers of New York and been scandal-laden since he had bad hand. Basically, he's done nothing. We got Andrew Cuomo, who if he ain't sniffing or patting somebody in the butt, he's killing grannies. So he's patting fannies, killing grannies. He's trying to run again. Maybe. You got Curtis Lewa, who's, I think, his heart's in the right place as the lone Republican. I'm just not sure. And then you got the communist. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're a resident of New York City, I don't care what age you are, and if you don't know what communism, socialism is, look it up. You'll check Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, and even the United States in the early 70s with Richard Nixon. You do not want the government, any way, shape, or form, to run your life. The less government you have, the better. And socialism, communism is a reverse of that. They want to have their own stores. That's disaster. That's what they call bread lines. You know what a bread line is? Look it up. This guy is promising you things. One, he can't give you. Two, even if he could, he'd bankrupt the city and he'd set this city back 30 years. It's exactly what Dinkins did. Now, Dinkins actually, I won't say approved on Ed Koch's 70s. Ed Koch was at least trying to be a good mayor, and he wasn't, but he was trying. Dinkins was an absolute disaster and set the city back. And Giuliani came in with a bulldozer and wiped all the DEI out, cleaned up the city, and at the end of his 8 years, had it not been for 9/11, would have walked out of the city with the most pristine. I mean, if you looked at Times Square before Giuliani and after, you would be like, holy shit, what? It's like two different countries. And in Bloomberg, all he did was say, well, Giuliani didn't screw it up. Whatever he did, I'm going to leave it alone. And got to the point where he was so bored, all he was worried about was how much salt we were using and how big our sodas were at 7-Eleven. That's when you know the city's in good shape. When the biggest thing the mayor's worried about is your salt and soda intake. And then we got de Blasio. And as bad as the de Blasio 8 years were, this guy, Mondami, will set us back. I don't care he's Muslim. I could care less what his ethnic, religious background is. My only care is the things he's promising people. If he wants to defund the police, we're going to be going back to ripping statues down. He wants government-run stores. He wants government-run communes. He basically wants to say, you shouldn't own 3 properties. We'll take you 2 of your properties, and we're going to give it to these people for nothing. And then who runs them? How do they function? Yeah. Guys, I promise you, if this guy gets elected, before he steps foot in office, I will be living in the state of Florida, the free state of Florida. I will not live in a city that I lived through last year when my company moved uptown in Manhattan to 36th Street. I would literally come out of my door of my office, walk down the block to try to go to Dunkin' Donuts or one of the stores there to get something to drink or eat, and there would literally be people on the ground in front of the store shooting up, getting high, begging for money. And I'm not joking. Everywhere you went. Now, I will tell you that this summer, you don't see that. It's better. It's not great. It's not Giuliani, Bloomberg years, but it's better. I'm not stepping over homeless on every street corner. They're still out there. The squeegee guys are back. Remember the squeegee guys from the 80s and 90s? They're back. There's a few spots where you pull up and they're there. But I'm not watching people. I'm telling you, I am literally don't have to watch guys shoot up where you have to worry that you're going to walk past them, not give them money, and they stab you in the leg with a dirty needle. So I'll give Adams credit. The streets look a little better. There's less of these gangs running around Times Square because they're afraid of ICE. And Adams is at least playing nice right now because he knows the Trump administration's pulling his strings. But I will tell you, folks, if you people in New York City, and I can't vote, even though I work there and pay taxes there, if you people vote for this guy, Mondani, and you put him in office, you will get what you deserve. So if you say, I can't vote for Sliwa, I can't vote for Adams, that's fine. And that's your right. But your lack of vote is a vote for Mondani. And as bad as Kamala Harris would have been for New York City, for the city, for the United States, I promise you, Mondani is worse. She is basically would have been a puppet. She would have just basically floated through the day as Madam President and done nothing. Same as Biden. This guy actually thinks he can run the city and actually wants to defund the police. He actually wants the police. Now, mind you, he wants to defund the police and get rid of them. Yet, guess who's driving him around every day? The great guys from the NYPD, or great officers from the NYPD. It could be female cops too. So, for a guy who didn't want to be, who doesn't want the police, he's got a police detail driving him to D.C., driving around the city. So New York City, I'm telling you flat out, you guys in New York State got to get rid of Hochul, and you guys in the city in November. I don't care who you vote for. I hate Cuomo. I dislike Adams, and I'm scared of Curtis Lewa, the head of the Guardian Angels. But damn it, vote for any one of them, because this guy, he gets in. Holy cow! You see this guy running in Minnesota? He looks like one of the Somali pirates from Captain Phillips. That's what the guy looks like. And he's talking about the homeland. I want to join up the Somali people here in the homeland. Dude, you're running to be governor or mayor of Minneapolis, whatever. And this is what you're worried about? Folks, wake up. Wake up. I'm just telling you. So New York City, do what you got to do. I'm telling you, I will be looking for a new residence come January if this guy gets elected, because this city will bottom out. The criminals will take over, and this guy will take anything and everything from you to give it away, because he lives in mommy's basement and he has no idea the concept of money. So I'm still waiting for Jeff to pop up. I haven't heard from him in a while. Let me see any updates. Let's see. As we wait on for Jeff, but in the meantime, I hate to drag this out, but politics nowadays, folks, is so important. Back in the day, you basically said they were all the same way, and I'm not telling you that every politician on the right is holier than thou, and the ones on the left are the devil. It's not true. There's big good and bad on both sides. I will just say that for me in my life right now, I am much more aligned to the messages of the right. That doesn't mean they're carrying through on every bit that they're promising us. It doesn't. It just means that I have no problem with the immigration policies of this thing. I have no problem with tariffs and the economic policies of this administration. And that's my business. If you don't, that's fine too. But gas prices are down. Food prices are a little down. I wouldn't say it's a major difference other than eggs, which was a big deal when Trump got in. But inflation is down and settling in a little bit. And we just got the best tax breaks that we've gotten. We've locked in the Trump tax breaks of 2017. And now no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And they've given you, they call it no tax on Social Security, but they basically can't give you that, but they put in something so you would get your money back. So I think there's good times ahead. We got the Olympics coming up next year, and I think the Olympics are out in California. We got the World Cup, which I think the finals are here in New Jersey, and we got 250th year of this country next year. Let me tell you, folks, the next few, actually, the Olympics are in 28 in California. I apologize. 26 is the World Cup. 26 is the 250th. And then we got the Olympics in 28. I believe it's 28. So, again, lots of stuff coming up, good times. And I truly believe the golden era, just as Trump said, we'll see. But, and again, we're kind of just treading water till Jeff gets here. Too bad you're not here. I'm about to. This computer, I use this for the show and it does not work. Oh boy. So we'll talk a little about the All-Star game while I'm waiting for Jeff, because I know he didn't watch a second of it. So I there he is. So the All-Star game, as I kill time, I think I'm going to cancel, Jeff, and hold these things for next week, because I don't want to do this show without you. This one is basically in your ballpark with the Jets and the Ozzy stuff. So I think we should, if you can't get your computer up and running, I think we'll just postpone the show till next week. Let me know what you think. But in the meantime, a little about the All-Star game. Listen, I stopped watching the All-Star game a while back. I don't know. I don't find the competition was great. I don't think the games were great. I think the Interleague has really kind of killed the magic of it to a certain extent. I will say this: I thought the hologram tribute to Hank Aaron was phenomenal. I thought they did a great job. I thought the teams going back to where I think the teams going back to where their regular uniforms and not these crazy alternate uniforms was a great touch. I think, though, when you get to the ninth inning and the game's tied, who cares? End the game. Shake hands. Nobody cares who wins the All-Star game. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody. Unless you bet the game, you don't care. I agree on the Interleague thing, Jeff. So this whole kind of home run derby to win the game, it kind of smells like the you try at the shootout in hockey, which is actually exciting. It smells of the kicks in the shootouts in soccer, which are not exciting. You have this big goal, there's little guys in there, and they make them 9 out of 10 times. And it's always like the miracle when the guy misses or the goalie actually makes it, guesses right and makes a stop. To me, you want to do that right in overtime, close up part of the net. Close up 3-4 feet on either side, and then you'll impress me. Otherwise, that kick, that whole thing in soccer is bullshit. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. It's a dumb way to decide a soccer game by giving this 20-foot wide area for this guy to try to compete with, and the guys make the goal 9 out of 10 times. It's stupid. So you want to impress me, close up 4 or 5 feet on either side, right? Shorten it up, and that makes sense. The shootout in hockey is fun. It's not as fun as it used to be because now they do it after every regular season game, where it used to be just in the playoffs or not even in the playoffs. They didn't even do it then. They played it until it was dead, till you were dead. So, but I can live with it. But the baseball one, guys, nobody wants to stay up till midnight and watch the All-Star game. You get to the ninth inning and it's over. Shake hands, pat each other on the fanny, and whoop, everybody go home. Nobody cares who wins the All-Star game. So I will again give it credit where credit is due. They listened. People complained about the uniforms, and people say, "Oh, what's the big deal? Who cares?" I care. The uniforms were dumb. The whole idea was to see your favorite player represent your team. He's not representing the American League. He's representing his team in the All-Star game. Wear the uniform for your team in the All-Star game. That's the whole idea. So for me, I'm very happy and thrilled. Again, I did not watch the home run derby. I could care less. It's played out. They've tried this team competition. Now this year got decided by distance. One guy had 1 inch longer. Who cares? It's boring. The players are boring. When I went to the 1999 All-Star game in Fenway, you know what the lineup was? I'll give you the 4 big bats. I'm sure there was other guys in that. I watched Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Sosa, and McGuire battle it out. That's a home run derby. Jazz Chisholm of the New York Yankees versus Cal Raleigh of Seattle. I don't care. Yeah. It's about you got inchworm. Yeah. I don't care. Nobody cares. It's dumb. And the angles that they were showing it was dumb. ESPN is dumb. Just dumb. I'm tired of ESPN. It should go away. It's going to go the way of CNN and MSNBC and NPR and PBS. Go away. You're a waste of time. You don't do things right. I don't care about launch angles and exit velocity. Nobody does. You know what we want to see? We want to see a guy throw a ball and a guy hit a ball as far as he can, and you want to watch the real screen. That's what you want to see. Nobody cares about exit velocity. You know, they start showing exit velocity. They show the exit velocity on a ground ball to shortstop. I could care less if it's 88 miles an hour or 188 miles an hour. It's ridiculous. And ESPN is ridiculous. And I don't watch them. And I don't care. And I'm an angry old man. Get off my lawn. So, I have stopped watching all. I tell you what, NHL did the smartest thing ever this year. Instead of an all-star game where the score was 18-17, they went and said, all right, we're scrapping the all-star game, and we're going to have a tournament. Over the course of 2 weeks, we're going to have 4 teams from 4 different nations, and we're going to compete for a trophy. It was fun. The guys played hard. They went after each other. It was real hockey for 2 weeks. Do it every year. Throw the all-star games out. Nobody cares. They all suck. The guys don't play defense. They don't give a shit. You know, when I grew up, I'm sorry, I'm angry man on the lawn. Guys cared. They had a little bit of integrity, and they wanted to win. They were competitive. They went out there and played hard in these games. I'm not telling you that they gave it all and they left it on the field, but they played and it was competitive. Nobody cares about these guys. I don't know what to tell you guys. So, again, all-star games to me, take 3 days off. You know what I would say? Here's what I would say. If I was Major League Baseball, I would have every year a rookie baseball game. That's what I would do. I would have a rookie all-star team. Doesn't matter if the guy's a great player or not. Every team puts 2 rookies out there, and they play a game with just rookies. So you can only play in the all-star game one time your rookie season. That, I guarantee you, would be good. These guys would be out there busting their butt. They don't know enough yet. They ain't making any money. And you put a nice purse out there for these guys. That would be interesting. That would be baseball. But to watch some of these guys who just show up there, turn their hat backwards, and wear extra jewelry and don't give a crap, and that's fine. It's an all-star game. I don't care. But then don't ask me to watch. Do not ask me to watch. We'll give Jeff a few more minutes. If not, we're going to close it up for the night, and we'll come back next week, start all over again. Again, remember, next week will be the Hard Rocket Sport 15th. That's right, 15th NFL training camp show. I did my very first show all by myself. I believe it was July the 24th or 26th. It was the 24th. July the 24th, 2014, in my wife's sewing room. And the very first show was a training camp show, 3 hours. I lasted an hour and a half, had to shut it off. So that was my very, 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 very first show. And I've done one every single year. And the last probably 12 with Jeff as my co-host. So, hopefully we'll figure his computer situation out. I may have to go buy him a computer. Guy's got 75 bases. We can't get a computer that works. I'm going to have to talk to his wife about this situation. So anyway, but yeah, see, that's the thing, Adam. To me, and again, I get that these guys they're making millions of dollars. They are coddled and all that stuff. But when you take the field, I was never much of a Pete Rose fan. I really wasn't. But I'll give you one thing about Pete Rose. The guy played every game like it was Game 7 of the World Series, including the All-Star games. You could knock him, and he did. That's where people don't understand. The nickname Charlie Hustle for Pete Rose was a derogatory term given to him in spring training by Whitey Ford of the New York Yankees. Pete Rose walked against somebody, and he sprinted down the line, and Whitey Ford yelled out, "Easy, Charlie, hustle!" And it was a derogatory term like, don't be hit spring training game. Don't be take it easy. And as much as I love Whitey Ford and the Yankees, to me, I get it. But I value that with Pete Rose. I think Pete Rose playing that way was the way we grew up playing. And I played ball from people's backyards to traveling teams around the country. I played softball all over the country. And every game we played, you played hard. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't games where you just, you didn't have it, but you went out there and you played. And if you didn't, guys, any team kicked you in the ass. And these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. To me, every game, run through the wall. Every game, play it like it's your last. Because that's what the fans deserve. And I don't want to see, 200 to 195 in an all-star game because everybody's just shooting from all over the place and nobody's playing there. I don't want to watch a 15-14 hockey game for an all-star game. I don't care. I just don't care. I gave up on the NFL Pro Bowl 20 years ago because they didn't tackle. And then they went to try to play two-hand touch games, and that's fine. Don't call it the Pro Bowl. They call it the NFL All-Star Weekend. That's great. Do whatever you want. Chase each other around. Pull on the jock strap. Slap them in the ass. Who gives a crap? But if you're going to put a product out there, if you're putting your image on film, give it 100%, no matter what. That's the way I feel. And if you can't, I don't have to watch it. That's the way I play. If you're not going to give it 100%, you're not getting my attention. I am not going to watch. I used to love to watch the home run derby. Now, I can't tell you. I think the last time I watched it, Judge and Stanton were going at it. That might have been 2016, 17, maybe 18, right before he became a Yankee. Worst trade the Yankees ever made. Like I said, we'll get more into it next week. It looks like Jeff's not going to make it, and I don't want to use this material up. The whole show's about, I don't know if you guys got to see the Black Sabbath final show live stream. And why live stream? What happened to, what do they call that now? Jesus Christ. Pay-per-view. I mean, what's Jacoby? I don't know what that is. Oh, Jacoby Ellsbury. Okay. To me, why not pay-per-view? I want, I know I could plug my computer in and, it's just too much work. Pay-per-view. I got to do live stream. I'm watching on the computer screen. I get it. I could have transferred. And then I pay $29.95 and I don't get to keep it. It stays there for 2 days and it's gone. It's happy horse shit. Because I know it's going to happen. There's going to be a commemorative DVD. Please go to the commemorative DVD because this is the last show. Anyway, I want to get into it. There's a lot to do with. There's a lot of conversation. I don't know if you guys saw the Guns N' Roses set. Dear God in heaven, there was some good stuff. Jeff's got some definite opinions on the Sabbath last set, the Ozzy set. I did not recognize Zakk Wylde, to be honest with you. Even though he looked like the crackhead version of Zakk Wylde. It's like they said, Zakk Wylde is sick. Let's go find a crackhead who looks like him to play him in the set. And that's who showed up because he looked like a crackhead. But I'll give you my opinion on the sets, all the different bands. We'll talk a lot of football next week. Obviously, it's the NFL training camp show. We'll bring that to you next week. I don't know. Again, it's all football and Ozzy next week. I will hold off on the passing of one of the original band members of Spinal Tap. Passed away this week at the age of 79, just short of the the sequel, which is coming out September 12th. Had they come out last year like they were supposed to, if it wasn't for the director's strike, we would have had this on the 40th anniversary and he would have made it, although he was not scheduled to be a part of the movie. I don't know why. Maybe he didn't want to be part of it. I did a little research. I couldn't find any reason why specifically he wasn't involved. But we'll hold on. Jeff's I think Jeff's texting me. Somebody's texting me. Yeah. I'm hold on. So again, without Jeff, guys, this whole show was really kind of built on Jeff. We had a little bit of Jets, and I got a lot of Sabbath and some Iron Maiden stuff. Spinal Tap. I'm going to. So apologize if you tuned in. Yes, Mr. Viv Savage has passed away at 79. He was the original keyboard player for Spinal Tap in the original movie, and with little, he. Let's play a little. Let me see if I get him a little. It's not the greatest quality, but let's see. It's not the greatest quality, but the volume is there, so I want to get it on. No, Batman. Hold on, I'm gonna cue it back up. Shoot. What the hell happened? See, this is what happens, folks. See if I get it back. 1 second.
If I were to ask you what your philosophy of life or your creed, what would that
be? All right. This is actually, most people think that the end of the Spinal Tap movie was Harry Shearer, and it's not. The very end of the movie is this. And let me bring it up on the screen, and then we're going to close it up.
If I were to ask you what your philosophy of life or your creed, what would that be?
Have a good time all the time. That's my philosophy, Marty.
Now,
if I were to ask you what your philosophy of life or your creed,
I never understood. I actually thought he was retarded. I got to be honest with you. I thought that he was like the special needs guy in the movie. Like every movie has he just came off as, I don't know what that was, but that is actually the very end of Spinal Tap. And David Kaif is gone. We will talk more about him next week with Jeff. In the meantime, I will play us out. And I thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you back here next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together. Hopefully, we got to get him his computer worked out here. He's got a week to figure it out. We got to figure it out. In the meantime, what do I want to play on the way out the door? I got a couple new things. Hold on, let me play something for you guys. All right, it was one take, one try, couple of blips along the way. Who cares? It was just me having some fun. Oh, Tony Goncio! I would have never done that if I knew Tony was there. No backing tracks. That is strictly just me. I winged it one try. I practiced it for a couple of minutes, and I actually put it on film. That'll be the end of the show from now on. Thank you, Tony Gunn. I appreciate it. One try, one time. We're gonna try that every once in a while. We'll do Jeff to do it. You get one shot, one try, and whatever goes up on film, that's what you got to put out there. So that was my attempt at the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun to learn it and all that. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Next week, a lot of football. We'll talk a little baseball and a lot of Black Sabbath and Spinal Tap. So thank you all for tuning in. For Jeff, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, we say thank you for tuning in. Have a great night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. We'll see you back here next Thursday night at 7 p.m.